In folk songs and fairy tales, the gypsy's a romantic figure, travelling the world without a care. But in reality, it's a hard life for a traveller, forced to camp by roadsides, always being moved on by police and farmers, surrounded by suspicion in every quarter. Last year, the second part of the Caravan Sites Act was passed in Britain. It instructed local authorities to provide sites for gypsies to park their caravans, either permanently or while travelling through the county. Hertfordshire County Council has proved itself one of the most advanced in its thinking. So far, it's provided 8 sites, with the promise of more to come. This is the newest site, called 3 Cherry Trees, and 15 families are moving in this week. The aim isn't to replace the traditional caravan, but to provide the additional facilities of a kitchen and bathroom in a separate living unit. The caravans are free to move off at any time, but the plots can be retained for a rent of £2.50 a week. This much older site has already been going for 6 years, and started off with just cold water taps. The children are not forgotten. The Save the Children Fund has set up a preschool playgroup here to provide the early play experience vital to under 5s. It also provides a bridge between home and school, which can be a frightening place to a child who's never been inside a building before.
That's a good girl.
Although gypsy children grow up energetic and independent, they can start school at a tremendous disadvantage educationally and socially. Many will never even have held a pencil. Here they can paint and draw, play with toys, and take books out of the library. Life on the move makes regular education impossible, so many older travellers are still unable to read and write. Local teachers, today nuns from a nearby convent school, run voluntary adult education classes in the evening.
Good, good, that's A. Now we want B. It's going to go the small B or the big B.
Now tell us what the names of them are. S?
S-I.
Yes, now we'll have to turn this around the other way, won't we? That's the way S.
I'm a left-handed man, so I always go back.
Ah, yes, but that's the shape, you see.
Peter, what's the second name?
Romany, the first language of gypsy people, is a spoken rather than a written language. And so it's only now that travellers are moving into our culture that they need to be able to write letters, read newspapers and fill in forms.
I'm sure you recognise this animal.
Just things like regular milk deliveries and refuse collection can seem like a daily miracle after a life of travelling. And on the new sites like 3 Cherry Trees, these amenities are already in action. Although at the moment the chalets are still rather new and bare, there are no restrictions on how they're decorated, and in a few weeks' time each one will have become a real part of the home. To a busy mother with several children on her hands, the extra room space and facilities can be a godsend after a cramped caravan.
Only thing is, you set it up on the roadside. You're clean, you've got hot and cold water, you've got toilets, you've got baths. So if you can't keep yourself clean in these things, where can you keep yourself clean? And I've travelled all my life, and now I'm trying to settle down.
A lot of people are going to mourn the passing of the romantic, nomadic way of life. But the fact is that the travellers are queuing up for places here. And if our changing society isn't going to totally pressure out minority groups like the gypsies, then all authorities are going to have to follow the initiative taken by Hertfordshire. This is Michelle Brown, This Week in Britain.